Hi, it's Rich Tehrani here at CTIA 2010 in Las Vegas. Thanks for watching. Today on our program we've got Steve Yablonski, who is the Senior Vice President and Chief Technical Officer of Globecomm. Steve, how are you?
How you doing?
Thanks for being on our program.
You're welcome. I enjoy being here.
Can you give us an overview of what your company does, please?
Okay, so we are a relatively diverse company that creates a complex network solution, I guess the best way to put it. We generally operate, our legacy comes out of satellite telecommunications. So we started the company as a satellite telecommunications ground segment company. And we've moved over the years into both providing on the infrastructure side and managing, serving on the services side of our business, relatively complex networks. And we used to have a tagline that said with a little bit of satellite in them, because it made the efficiency of the network be very important. So we had to do things a little bit out of the box, which gave us a space amongst the large players who generally weren't focused on the kinds of networks that we were focused on operating in the places that we were operating. So, by example, we did an enormous amount of work in Afghanistan after the war settled down and the entire telecommunication network was destroyed. We've built a series of networks, the first government network, the first public network there. We've built networks now to support the cellular systems there. We run cellular systems for the military out there. And all part of this, specialized kind of network work where it's trying to support networks in unusual places, doing unusual things.
It's very exciting.
It is. It's interesting. You need to find a bunch of guys that are intelligent, willing to travel to Afghanistan and places like that.
Right. I mean, it's not like
so.
It's not like you have safety issues right now.
Right.
In developed parts of the
world.
Major
issue. I mean, doing work in Afghanistan is really about how to do that. How to. One of the big advantages we have in Afghanistan is we're there. We know how to do work there. We know how to. I mean, my classic thing I like to talk about is how do you protect a cell site, in a very remote area of Afghanistan, with stuff in the news today like shutting the Taliban, forcing people to shut the cell phones off at night. But when you get away from the bigger cities, what you're doing is you're finding a local chieftain or local warlord. You pay him a few bucks a month as long as the cell site keeps running, and he just manages all the other local issues, the Taliban and the U.S. Army and everybody else. Make sure he gets his few bucks, and the cell site keeps working. And it's that knowledge that really makes it very, very helpful for us to do business. And that's so we're kind of specialized regionally. We have groups of teams that specialize in regions around the world, and some specialization in technology. At this show, we're highlighting our cellular technology. So we have built a number of very unusual cellular networks. We won an award at the GSM conference in Cannes about maybe 8 years ago now for the most innovative GSM network. We built a network that was one of the first distributed networks. The entire trunking system of the network was a demand-assigned satellite system. The switch was in Los Angeles, and all the RAN elements were out in the island nation of Tonga. That was a triple play network with video-on-demand systems, data, and everything else. So we in a very small place, a very unusual place. So for us, it was the issue of how do you do that there? You could do that in Los Angeles, but how do you create a network that's cost-effective in a place that's that isolated?
Sure. So with that experience, is that now your exclusive focus, looking in the remote areas?
No, well, we've hosted we created out of that job we started creating the concept of a hosted network where we would own the core of the network and support the customer's radio network in the field. That way we remove the capital cost of the core network, but more importantly, we remove the manpower cost. Very, very difficult for a smaller operator or a specialized operator to support the staff that you need to manage a core and keep up with the change in technology, everything moving so fast. So today we run 3 switches out of our facility in Hauppauge, and we extend the reach of those switches. We manage remote networks using soft switch distributed switching technologies, and we manage networks all over the world. We manage networks in Africa, we manage networks in Afghanistan, we manage networks in the United States. But we do a lot of networks in the United States. So I think we have 11 of them in the United States now that are not all that impossible to get to. They just happen to be small, and it's very cost effective for us to do that and to help those guys keep up with the roadmap of today's technology.
And what kind of companies are you working with here? Just smaller carriers?
Typically smaller carriers.
Like rural carriers?
Rural operators.
So you're basically outsourcing or hosting this?
Yeah, we run the core network for them. And one of the advantages one of the big advantages of the States is most of the rural guys, a lot of the revenue comes from roaming. And if you're a small rural operator and you want to roam with a few of the major carriers, you have to do interop testing between your little switch that you would own and the other major operators, and they have to find time to do that testing with you. It's not that important to them because there's not that much revenue involved.
Right.
We are interops with all of those guys. So
Sure.
we've done those interops a few years ago. So when we bring a new customer to our network, all that interop testing is done. It's not an issue to T-Mobile or to an AT&T or anybody else to bring those guys in. It's just a matter of actually negotiating the rates in the roaming agreement. So it clears a big headache up for the major guys to roam with the smaller guys. So it helps those guys out and it helps the small guys out.
Very exciting. Well, thank you so much for spending some time with us today and
thank you very much.
letting us know about what you're up to. Appreciate that.
All right, thank you.